she lived off my grandma's credit card for about her first 3 years in LA, and grandma got into 100K of debt on her credit card.
A
And I don't blame my
hundred
sister.
K of debt. Your sister used your grandmother's card for $100,000 in 3 months? Hello?
Hey, Lyle. Good to talk to you. This is Dan.
Dan, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going all right. I called in to talk to you about something specific, man. Basically, I've got an estranged sister who I haven't spoken to for about 7 years, man. And I used to follow her social media just to make sure, she's healthy and alive, and she posts pictures with her friends and stuff. And she went dark about 6 months ago. And since we haven't spoken to each other for 7 years, we've only texted. I mean, I don't know what she's doing. She doesn't even give her address out to anybody. But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. But she moved across the country to LA to become a musician / actor 7 years ago when she was 18. And that's why I haven't spoken to her. She just doesn't talk to her family anymore. And anyway, she went dark on social media, and I'm thinking about trying to find her, just to make sure she's alive still.
When is the last time that you talked to her?
On voice, or do text messages count?
Yeah, text message. Text. I would say text count.
All right. Yeah. So text. 2019. We spoke around my birthday on text messages. Just she said she was doing well. She was substitute teaching at a school, which is kind of weird for somebody who doesn't really have any education background. She was doing all right otherwise. And at that time she had trouble making rent, so I sent her $3,000 to hold her over.
Really? You sent her money?
Yeah. We grew up poor, so our mother died when I was 14 and she was 10, and I took that and studied. I studied computer security, got into hacking, went to work for a tech firm after college, and so I could afford to help her out, like that.
So the last time we talked to her was in 2019. You gave her some money, and then it's been about 3 years, and you were sort of just following her on social media up until about, you said 6 months ago. She just stopped posting.
Yep, completely. No likes on her Twitter, no tags on her Instagram, nothing.
So she moved to LA when she was 18, and then as of 2019, where was she at?
She was, so I sent a check to a P.O. box in LA.
Okay, so we think she's still in LA.
I still think she's in LA. I think so.
And tell me about the rest of your family. Do you have any other siblings?
No other siblings. My mom was a single mom. She died. We went to live with our grandmother. Our grandmother raised us. Part of the reason maybe I don't talk to her is she lived off my grandma's credit card for about her first 3 years in LA. And grandma got into 100K of debt on her credit card and had to take out a mortgage to pay it off. I don't blame my sister.
100K of debt. Your sister used your grandmother's card for $100,000 in 3 months?
3 years. Sorry.
Oh,
3 years.
Okay. Still. And your grandma had no idea.
My grandma's just too nice. She wouldn't say no to her, right? And my sister, I think, is just too dumb, or not dumb, but I don't think she ever knew the value of money, because grandma would just pay for whatever. So I don't really blame her for it, but yeah.
After these 7 years, how much contact have you had with her throughout them?
Just text messages, maybe once a year. And usually it would be me sending something like happy birthday, And then she sent something back a few weeks later, and then that's about it. And just that kind of communication.
Okay. So sort of once a year on her birthday, you're keeping tabs with her on social media, and throughout these whole 7 years, she's posting on social media, right?
Yeah, she's posting pictures with friends. She was in a music video for a pretty famous rapper. Yeah.
All right, so you're keeping tabs on her still. You're seeing what she's been up to.
Yeah. Just to make sure she's like okay. She's not like bad stuff can happen if you move to LA as an 18-year-old girl with no life experience. So I'm just keeping an eye out.
And when you guys were growing up, what was your relationship like?
Pretty distant. I was kind of absorbed in the computer. I was really into computer hacking, and I didn't really socially interact with anybody, even my own sister, other than like the casual, like I guess we'd go to family events together, and that's about it. But we weren't really super close friends or anything, other than the shared trauma. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you say shared trauma, what is it you're referring to?
Yeah, I mean, our mom died when we were kids, so she took that really hard, and she went to a lot of therapy. She got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she tried to kill herself once, and so she kind of had some poor mental health the whole time.
So I know you sent her $3,000 and you text her happy birthday, but when's the last time you really got into it with her whether it was on the phone or in person or even in text?
Yeah, in text, definitely before 2019. I think 2018 or 2017. I put it straight with her on. When we cut off Grandma's credit card, I put it straight with her. I told her, Grandma can't afford this. She actually had to take out a mortgage to pay off her debt. And you have to get, like, a job to cover your expenses. And like, it was hard to be angry. I mean, she kind of understood. She just apologized for it. And I mean, it wasn't like it was an argument. It was like, oh shit, I've been fucking up Grandma's credit, and my bad. I really didn't mean to do that. So that was like when we really got into it about what she was doing at the time.
And when's the last time you saw her in person, face to face?
7 years ago, the day she moved out to LA. I drove back to her house from college and, said goodbye to her. She took a car. She actually moved with a friend from high school, this girlfriend of hers. And, they were going to make it in LA as musicians and models. So.
Okay, so she went dark on social media 3 months ago. You haven't interacted with her since 2019. And it says here you're thinking about hiring a private investigator to go find her.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I got money now. I reached out to her still, happy birthday every year, but she hasn't responded. And now her social media is dark, so I'm thinking of just hiring a PI, like find where she's at, who she's living with. Does she have a job? I mean, does she have a drug problem? I don't think she would ever tell me if she has a drug problem.
So what is it that is making you decide now that you want to start putting in a lot of effort to go find her?
I turned 30, so I feel bad that I kind of haven't spoken to her. There's not any real reason that I don't speak to her. So like maybe I could go visit and say hi. I mean, she's one of the very few blood relatives I have. So I feel a need to connect.
Right. I was going to say, so your mother died when you guys were young. What's your father up to?
Yeah, my father is kind of a beach bum. in Florida, and he's just out of the picture completely. He's aging gracefully on the beach in Florida, just doing odd jobs around there, and he doesn't. He was out of the picture very early when we were young, because they got a divorce, and so my mom became a single mom when I was like 6 years old. So it was. He's mostly just out of the picture completely.
And do you have a wife and kids in your own family?
Yeah. So I got married to somebody I met in college, and I don't have any kids yet, but we're going to buy a house and have kids. That's the idea. On the Northwest coast. So, yeah.
What does your wife think about this whole situation?
She supports it. She thinks we should try to save her if she's in a bad spot, like maybe have her come live here. Minimum wage is really high in Washington, and she could get on her feet and, live off our couch, go to community college or something, maybe she supports me. She thinks I should help her get on her feet if she's not.
That's good that your wife is supportive of you wanting to do that, because I could see that, if she weren't supportive, I could see it being some sort of a conflict. Like, was she cool with you giving her the $3,000?
Yeah, we talked about it for a while, and we weren't even sure it could be for rent. Like, if it's for drugs, that's really bad. That would buy her a lot of drugs. But we had no way to confirm, and my wife was cool with it. $3,000 isn't a big deal to us, because just our circumstances now. So,
I find it interesting that you're even with that whole thing of her running up your grandma's credit card for $100,000 and not knowing sort of what her deal is, if she's addicted to drugs or sort of whatever it is going on with her, I am impressed that you still have this connection to her and this desire to help her, even though things seem like they've gotten very distant.
It's really hard to tell if she's like a manipulator or not. And I want to believe she's not, right? You want to assume the good in everybody. And that she's just unfortunate circumstances. She didn't know what she was doing, and, so. And
with this private eye, what is sort of the first step of trying to find her? Are you going to provide this PI with her Instagram photos, or, I guess maybe they'll Google her name and try to find where she lives? Do you have any idea what that process is like?
Yeah, so I have a dossier I've kind of kept on her because I'm a computer hacker, man. Sure. Finding people is kind of part of what I do too. And so I've got her PO box. I've got all of her friends that she's spoken to on Instagram, like kind of timelined out. Okay, this is sounding really creepy, man. But I would just scroll through her Instagram, collect the different friends she communicates with, and who comment on her posts, and kind of have their names tagged to these identities. And so I've got all of these in a doc, and I've got her PO box. I don't have her real address. And I'm gonna send all this to a PI agency. I talked to one on the phone, and they're like, okay, well, first step is finding her, right? They're gonna find her current address and where she's at. And I'm not sure how they're gonna do that. Maybe they can look at county records and stuff, but if I give them all this info, the friends she talks to, that I could find at least, and maybe they can make it happen. And that's the hope. And they said it would be about $1,000 to get this initial, like just finding where she is.
So I am curious about a couple things. I want to talk to you about how you feel like you'll react in a couple different scenarios, right? Like, let's say you hire this private investigator, they find her, You put all this effort, not even just the financial stuff, because the financials seem like they don't matter to you, but you're putting in a lot of like thought and like emotional energy into finding her, thinking about her, speculating about whether or not she's safe. What happens? How do you think you will react if you find her and she just doesn't want anything to do with you because she's, whatever her reason is, maybe she is addicted to drugs and she doesn't want to get better, or maybe she has her own life that's happy, or whatever it is, whatever her reason is, what happens if you find her and she doesn't want anything to do with you? How do you think you would react to that?
I would be ecstatic, especially if her life's going good. It's okay if she doesn't want anything to do with me, but I would be happy that, if she's going through some trouble and she doesn't want anything to do with me, I'm not, if she's in a bad place, I think the way I would react is I might fly down, to see her face to face, to at least, see emotionally how she is, because it would be a bit different if we talk on the phone or something, and she says she wants nothing to do with me. I mean, actually, I might respect her depending on what she says on the phone. I would respect her opinion.
Right. I guess it sounds like what you're trying to say is like if she was like, "Hey, my life is going great. Don't worry about me," then you wouldn't fly down there. But if you heard her say like, if she was kind of coming at it, and you sort of suspected maybe like it does have drug problems, and she knows that you want to try to send her to rehab, and so that's why she's avoiding you. If I mean, this is all in a hypothetical, but if that were the case, would you fly down there and be like, okay, maybe I'll get through to you if we're face to face?
Yeah, that's my thought. Like maybe we can at least reconnect. We're the only family each other has, really. So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you said your dad's a beach bum. Before we go, I want to hear some of the perspectives of the other family members. You said your dad is a beach bum. Does he have any care or any sort of desire in the same way that you do to reconnect with your sister?
Yeah, he's always been sad that she doesn't talk to him. But he's I mean, I don't even talk to him. Because he's so just kind of out there. He made some really bad life choices. I mean, I talked to him on his birthday, happy birthday, but I'm not gonna fly down to see him all the time on the beach and this kind of like state he's in. He's just kind of a negative person. So
sure.
Being around him, it's very negative, always negative. So, I try to avoid that as much as I can.
Is there anyone else in your family, like a fucking cousin, your grandparents you've been mentioning, anyone else who's like sort of in this with you, or are you kind of just doing this all alone?
Yeah, my grandmother and my uncle, my grandmother's son. He knows of her, but yeah, he kind of had a falling out with my sister because she had some mental issues, and she said some shit when she was visiting my uncle about how she's going to go crazy because my uncle has the perfect family and she can't stand it. Anyway, my uncle would also like to know that she's okay. But she definitely doesn't want to talk to my uncle. So,
what happened with her and your uncle?
Well, I don't want to get too long into it. It's not that interesting. It's just
sure.
She was visiting with me for Christmas. She had like this mental breakdown about how my uncle has like a perfect family, and then she had to leave early. She took a flight back early because she couldn't cope with my uncle and how nice their family situation is.
Sure, a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to hear that. I don't know how long ago this was, but it's interesting to hear that because you can kind of tell from that she's jealous of your uncle having, quote, a perfect family. I don't know what your uncle's family is like, but you can kind of tell that, like, from that, the family is important to her. So, you know, I think it's a cool thing you're doing because I guess neither of us really have any idea what her thoughts and feelings are about her family, about you, about, you know, sort of her relationship to back home, but she could be kind of waiting for you possibly to find her. And it could turn out that when you do find her, it'll mean a lot that you're back in her life. And it's very compelling to me to see you putting in all this effort, not knowing how she feels about you, not knowing if when you go to see her, if she'll want to see you, and then answering to me when I asked you how you would feel about that, going, I would be ecstatic just to know that she's, you know, safe and doing well. So this is a very much a display in my eyes of unconditional love and caring. And, you know, I respect it, man. I wish you good luck on your journey. Please call back in if
you don't think
you
it's
find
creepy?
anything. We'd love to hear.
You don't think it's too creepy, man?
Do I think it's creepy? Could be creepy. I have no idea. I'm just a Gecko on the internet.
Thanks, Gecko. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Of course. You as well.
You too. Bye.
That was Dan. Let's see. Is it creepy to stalk your sister to see? Well, look. Intention is important, I think, when you're judging people's actions. A lot of people don't agree with me. A lot of people don't think intention is important, but I think intention is important. And his intention is just to make sure that she is safe. And it was interesting when he mentioned the uncle thing, that she was jealous of the fact that he had a perfect family. Like, you can kind of ascertain by that she, you know, family is important to her. I'm thinking about my own sister. I'm thinking about if she dropped off the face of the earth for 5 years, you know, would I do the same? Would I compile a dossier and stalk her with a private eye? And if I did, would that be creepy, or would that come from a place of, this is my sister, she's the only family I have, and I love her? I don't know. I don't know if I'm the judge to say whether or not it's creepy, but I hope he finds her, and I hope that they have a good reconnection. Hope that she's doing well. And I thank you to Dan for sharing that story with us. It is interesting that at the very end of that call is when he kind of out of left field said, is it creepy? Which means to him, and I understand why, because if you're compiling a dossier and, you know, look, if you're scrolling through some girl's Instagram pictures and compiling them into a dossier, doesn't matter if she's your sister. A part of your brain is going, is this creepy? So I understand why he maybe has that inkling in his mind. But again, I think his intentions are pure. He wants to make sure that, you know, she's safe, especially when he was describing all of those, like, mental health issues that she had and potential drug problems and whatnot, that he just wants to make sure she's safe. So I think it's coming from a good place.